Hello everyone, and welcome to Wisdom and Wealth, your channel for cultivating a richer life inside and out. What if everything you are working towards, all the success you're hoping for, is actually on its way to you right now? And the only obstacle is you, standing in your own way? Remember, you only truly lose what you are clinging to. As Buddha said, in today's world, we are obsessed with constantly hustling, always seeking control, and demanding instant results. We easily forget that quiet, fundamental truth: the universe doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to energy. Right now, you're not being tested by external chaos, but by your own internal resistance. Before we dive in, if you find value in this content, please give us a like and subscribe. It helps us bring more of this wisdom to you. Now, ask yourself, how much peace are you sacrificing for a progress that never seems to arrive? How often are you trading your well-being for a future that always feels just out of reach? This video is designed to deeply challenge the way you currently think about effort, timing, and control. It's going to reveal how ancient Buddhist wisdom holds the key to getting everything you rightfully deserve, and the surprising part: it's often about doing less, not more. You'll discover the hidden, unseen reason why life sometimes feels so heavy, and what magical transformation happens when you finally choose to let go. The one crucial takeaway, if you remember nothing else from this video, is this: you don't have to relentlessly chase what is already rightfully yours. That simple truth can change everything. Now, stick around until the very end. There's a powerful, bonus lesson waiting for you that will bring it all together. And if you are enjoying the content, please give us a like and subscribe. First, let go like the sky releases the storm. What if the only barrier standing between you and genuine peace is your ingrained need to control every single aspect of your life? There's a profound lesson whispered in the silence that follows a powerful storm, when the clouds part, and the sky returns to a serene stillness, as if nothing dramatic ever occurred. The sky doesn't cling to the fading thunder. It doesn't replay the memory of the lightning's flash. It simply, effortlessly, lets go. Just as the sky releases the storm, you too must learn to release your tight grip on control, allowing life to unfold naturally, without constant resistance. Because here's a truth that many are hesitant to confront: the tighter you grip, the more you suffer. Most people spend their precious days chasing specific outcomes, meticulously micromanaging timelines, and anxiously scripting every single detail of their future. They label this as ambition, but more often than not, it's fear cleverly disguised. It's the deep-seated fear of losing control, the fear of not being enough unless they constantly prove it, the fear that if they loosen their grip, everything they've worked for will fall apart. But Buddhist teachings offer a radically different perspective. Attachment is the origin, the very root of suffering. It is the primary cause of our dissatisfaction. When you constantly fight against the reality of the present moment, you create a debilitating inner conflict. You inevitably burn out. You start to feel like you're pushing a massive boulder uphill, day after day, while the elusive peace you seek slips further and further away. However, when you choose to surrender, not in weakness, but in newfound wisdom, you begin to trust in the natural, inherent rhythm of your life. You begin to flow effortlessly with the current instead of constantly struggling against it. Stop for a moment and ask yourself, what am I currently trying to control that is no longer serving me? Is it a specific job title, a relationship that has run its course, or an outdated version of yourself that you have long outgrown? Can you learn to release it, just as the sky effortlessly lets go of the pouring rain? Remember, genuine peace isn't something you chase and capture, it's something you make space for. Consider this: a river doesn't force its way to the vast ocean. It trusts in the natural path. You don't create the river's flow, you simply allow it to carry you. What if your dreams are already making their way to you, but your constant anxiety is keeping the door firmly blocked? What if calm, clarity, and everything you truly deserve arrives the very moment you stop trying to force a specific outcome? In fact, if you like this content so far, please click like and subscribe. It helps us keep going. Once upon a time, there was a man who stood every day by a firmly locked door, pounding on it, screaming, and demanding that it open immediately. Years went by. He wore himself down to a frazzle. Then, one day, completely exhausted, he collapsed right beside the very door. Only then did he notice that another door had been wide open behind him all along, waiting to be discovered. That is the true cost of clinging to control. It blinds you to what is already unfolding for your highest and greatest good. Can you allow things to simply be as they are, without constantly labeling them as either inherently good or inherently bad? This is the very essence of mindful surrender. You don't abandon your responsibilities, you abandon the resistance. You do your part, and then you trust the natural process. You plant the seed, but you don't scream at the soil, demanding it to sprout instantly. So, take a deep breath. Loosen your grip. Let the storm pass without trying to catch every single drop of rain. Because the profound calm you seek is already within you. It's simply buried beneath layers of control, fear, and expectation. At the end of the day, the universe doesn't need you to push harder. It needs you to trust deeper. You become what you believe. Heal your internal resistance, and your external world will naturally align itself. Second, observe your mind like a still lake watches the moon. When was the last time you truly watched your thoughts, without chasing them, fearing them, or completely drowning in them? Most of us live trapped within our own minds, without even realizing it. Thoughts arise, and we instinctively run after them. Worries surface, and we grip them tightly like precious lifelines. But Buddhist wisdom offers a profoundly different path, a quieter, deeper, more transformative way. Imagine a still lake on a night bathed in the light of the full moon. The surface, untouched by any wind, reflects the moon in perfect clarity. That is what your mind can become, still, undisturbed, a perfect reflection of truth. But only if you learn to observe instead of blindly react. In the frantic rush of modern life, your mind becomes turbulent, tossed about by deadlines, fears, and distractions. You might be constantly chasing a promotion, comparing yourself endlessly online, constantly doubting if you are truly enough. But what if you paused? What if you stopped fighting your thoughts and simply, quietly observed them? Remember, peace comes from within. Don't waste your energy seeking it without. That's not just an inspirational quote, it's a lifeline. Calm isn't about fixing every single thought. It's about watching them drift by, without being pulled under. When a troubling thought arises, I'm not doing enough, what if I fail, they don't understand me, don't wrestle with it. Simply watch it. Sit with it, like a still lake cradling the moon's reflection. You'll soon notice that the thought passes, and you remain. This is the profound practice of mental clarity, and clarity is ultimately freedom. Because when you watch your thoughts without judgment, you begin to see their underlying patterns. You see how many of them aren't actually yours at all, but echoes of the past, voices of internalized fear, borrowed opinions. Each moment you observe without reacting, you weaken their hold on you. Stop now and ask yourself, am I currently watching my thoughts, or am I drowning in them? Once upon a time, there was a monk who told his eager student, "You are not the clouds. You are the sky that watches." At first, the student didn't understand. He kept chasing fleeting happiness, constantly pushing away any discomfort. One morning during deep meditation, he simply sat. No judgment, no forced effort, just profound silence. And in that profound stillness, he saw the truth. Thoughts passed like clouds. Emotions rose and fell like waves. But his essential awareness remained unshaken. For the very first time, he wasn't lost in his mind. He was truly free from it. You can experience this as well. All it takes is a few minutes each day. Sit in silence. Let the thoughts come. Don't hold on to them. Don't push them away. Just watch. Like leaves floating down a gentle stream, like the sky serenely watching the passing weather. The more you practice this, the less control your thoughts will have over you. And in that sacred space between awareness and reaction, peace is born. If you are finding this to be helpful, please give us a like and subscribe. It helps us continue to deliver valuable content. Let this be your daily ritual, not to escape the world, but to meet it with a calmer, more focused mind. The storm may still rage all around you, but within, you can become like the still lake, reflecting life as it truly is, without distortion. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that sees them. And in that expansive awareness, the universe delivers not what you force, but what you are truly ready to receive. Third, align your energy like a compass finds north. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract peace, clarity, and incredible opportunities, while others remain stuck in cycles of chaos, no matter how hard they try? The truth is, the universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to who you are. It responds to the specific energy you carry. Just like a compass always finds true north when left undisturbed, your life begins to align when your inner world is calm, centered, and still. But in a world that constantly pulls you in 1,000 different directions, how do you find your way back to that magnetic stillness? Too often, we live constantly on edge, rushing from task to task, reacting to every single message, carrying silent stress deep within our chests. We say we want peace, but we are constantly broadcasting worry. We say we want abundance, but we vibrate with deep-seated feelings of lack. Here's what Buddhism reminds us: what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Imagine your energy like a signal you send out every single day. Are you sending fear or faith? Chaos or calm? Scarcity or overflowing gratitude? Because life is essentially a mirror of your inner state. If your inner world is cluttered with constant complaints, deeply rooted resentment, or unrelenting resistance, the external world can't help but reflect that back to you. But when you pause, when you consciously choose calm over chaos, when you align with gratitude instead of anxiety, something shifts profoundly. Stop for a moment and ask yourself honestly, what energy am I currently broadcasting out into the world right now? Once upon a time, there was a man who kept planting seeds, but nothing would ever grow. Frustrated, he blamed the weather, the uncooperative soil, the unpredictable seasons, until one day a wise teacher asked, "Have you checked the ground of your mind?" The man was confused. The teacher explained, "You plant with your actions, but you harvest from your vibration. What you water grows." That day, the man began a new, transformative ritual, not of striving harder, but of sitting in profound silence, aligning his heart and cultivating inner peace. Slowly but surely, his life began to bloom. That's how energy works. It's not magic, it's resonance. When you align your energy, when you hold stillness within, what you truly need starts to find you. The right people show up. Opportunities feel surprisingly effortless. Not because the universe suddenly favors you, but because you've finally tuned into its natural frequency. You don't need to force your way through life, you need to feel your way into alignment. This begins with small, conscious choices: gratitude instead of grumbling, deep breaths instead of instant reactions, presence instead of endless projection. And most importantly, choosing inner calm when the world is giving you every possible reason to panic. Start today. Sit quietly, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Place your hand gently over your heart and ask yourself, am I vibrating with the energy of what I truly wish to receive? If not, consciously adjust. Return to your breath. Remember who you are beneath all the noise. Because when your energy aligns, like a compass finding true north, life begins to organize itself around your inner peace. The universe doesn't rush, it aligns. And when you do too, what you deserve begins to find its way to you without force, without fear, just with a gentle flow. Like this content? Please give us a like and subscribe. Fourth, trust the river, even when you can't see the ocean. Have you ever stood at a crossroads, feeling overwhelmed by not knowing what comes next? That hollow uncertainty. That nagging voice inside whispering, "What if it doesn't work out?" It paralyzes the very best of us. But there's a quiet wisdom found in nature that holds the secret answer. A river never panics. It doesn't need to see the ocean to know it's coming. It simply flows, unhurried, unwavering, and utterly certain. You too are a river. You don't have to see the final destination to keep moving forward. Modern life glorifies control. We plan, predict, calculate, and obsess over every single possible outcome. We're told that certainty is true strength, that we must know before we act. But Buddhism offers another way, an ancient path that invites trust over tension, surrender over struggle. Let go of the inherent need to control every single outcome. The universe inherently knows the way. Not knowing isn't weakness, it's faith. And faith is a kind of profound freedom. Think about how much energy you waste trying to force specific results, trying to control how people see you, how your future inevitably unfolds, how quickly your dreams arrive. That effort often leads to burnout, constant anxiety, and a haunting sense of being perpetually behind. But what if you stop demanding guarantees? What if true peace doesn't come from certainty, but from deeply rooted trust? Ask yourself, what would I do differently if I fully trusted the natural process of life? Would you move with more courage? Would you rest without guilt? Would you finally let go of everything that no longer serves you? Once upon a time, there was a woman who planted a bamboo seed. For years, nothing grew. No sprouts, no visible signs, only complete silence. People mocked her, told her to give up, but she stubbornly kept watering it. Then, in the 5th year, the bamboo suddenly shot up 80 feet in just a few short weeks. But what was happening all that time? Quiet preparation, root building, alignment beneath the surface. Her only true job was to trust the natural process and continue nurturing the unseen. Life often works the very same way. When nothing seems to be happening, everything is actually falling into perfect place. But your restless mind, addicted to tangible proof, often can't see it. That's where calm comes in, not passive waiting, but powerful surrender. You act, but you don't obsess. You work, but you don't cling. You trust, not because you know the exact outcome, but because you've aligned yourself with the inherent flow. To live in true surrender is not to give up. It's to give over to the current, to the deep wisdom of timing, to the revolutionary idea that your life has a rhythm far beyond what the eye can currently see. That's when true calm is born, not from everything going perfectly right, but from trusting even when it doesn't. Start small. Take that next step, not because you're certain, but because you are faithful. Replace worry with wonder. Replace endless obsession with radiant openness. And when the path looks foggy, remember the river doesn't need a detailed map, it simply flows. And still it eventually reaches the vast ocean. The universe isn't asking you to be a fortune teller, it's asking you to trust. Stay calm. Flow forward. Because what is truly meant for you isn't found through force, it's delivered through unshakable faith. Finding value? Please like and subscribe. 5th, be empty like the bamboo to be filled by the wind. Sometimes the real reason you feel so stuck isn't because life is actively holding you back, it's because you are holding on too tightly, holding on to specific outcomes, rigid identities, unrealistic expectations that were never truly yours to begin with. Like a closed fist trying desperately to grasp the wind, the more you clench, the more peace inevitably slips away. But look at the strong yet hollow bamboo. It bends gracefully in storms, but it never breaks. It is empty, not weak, open, not needy. And because of that essential openness, it flows effortlessly with the wind instead of trying to resist it. Buddhism teaches us that real strength is not about how much you can physically carry, it's about how much you are willing to consciously release. In the end, only 3 things will truly matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of everything that wasn't truly meant for you. But most of us don't live that way. We constantly chase more. We grip harder. We relentlessly tell ourselves that we can't possibly rest until everything finally falls into place. But that intense pressure, that inherent attachment, is what creates the very suffering we are trying desperately to avoid. Take a moment and ask yourself, what deep-seated beliefs or unfulfilled desires am I currently gripping too tightly? Is it the constant need to prove your worth? The limiting belief that success must look a specific way? The deep-seated fear that if you stop pushing relentlessly, everything will somehow fall apart? These thoughts aren't just random mental noise, they are actual weight. And carrying them tirelessly keeps you from receiving what is truly meant for you. Once upon a time, there was a student who came to a wise monk, desperate for genuine clarity. The student spoke endlessly about his myriad problems, his detailed plans, his unresolved pain. Finally, the monk began to slowly pour tea into a waiting cup. He poured and poured until it overflowed dramatically. The student shouted, "It's overflowing." The monk replied calmly, "Exactly. You are just like this cup, so full of your own limiting opinions, your deep-seated fears, your unrealistic expectations. There's simply no room for anything new to enter. Empty your cup." This is the challenging path of detachment, not rejecting life, but clearing out the unnecessary noise that prevents you from fully living it. It means actively choosing stillness over frantic obsession, mindfully allowing expansive space instead of constantly filling every silence with worry. It's understanding deeply that needing nothing opens the door to everything. When you are empty like the bamboo, the universe can finally move freely through you. Letting go isn't weakness, it's a profound act of trust. Trust that what falls away wasn't truly yours to keep, and what is truly meant for you will always arrive, not through relentless control, but through authentic alignment. So, start clearing out the clutter, let go of any relationships that drain your energy. Release the outdated outcomes that no longer align with your highest good. Drop the suffocating pressure to always be doing more, and create spacious room for authentic joy, radiant clarity, and unwavering truth. Practice mindful detachment in small, intentional ways. Leave a heated conversation without needing to be right. Sit in profound silence without immediately reaching for your phone. Watch a troubling thought pass by without attaching a dramatic story to it. In that spaciousness, you'll find a profound, enduring peace, the kind that doesn't depend on external circumstances, but arises naturally when you stop resisting the inherent flow of life. Like bamboo, consciously choose to become empty, not because you lack, but because you deeply trust that the less you cling, the more the universe can genuinely fill you. And what the universe offers is always exponentially greater than anything you were ever holding on to. If you are enjoying the content, please like and subscribe to let us know. 6th, let stillness be your thunder. We live in a world that deeply fears silence. Every single moment is filled with constant alerts, unrelenting noise, and the compulsive urge to relentlessly speak, scroll, or react. But what if the life-changing answers you desperately seek aren't hiding in more frantic motion, but in profound stillness? Stillness isn't emptiness, and it certainly isn't weakness. It's the powerful thunder beneath the surface, the underlying force that silently shapes mountains. As Zen teaches, silence is an empty space. Space is the home of the awakened mind. In that sacred space, your real power truly begins. Burnout doesn't just come from doing too much, it comes from being deeply disconnected, disconnected from your breath, disconnected from your purpose, disconnected from your own essential truth. You relentlessly move fast, desperately hoping that speed will lead to genuine clarity, but it almost never does. Clarity never comes from frantic motion. It comes when the dust naturally settles, and the dust only settles in profound stillness. Think about it, a muddy river doesn't clear when you stir it up, it clears when it's still. The same is profoundly true for your mind. You say you're lost, uncertain, overwhelmed, but ask yourself this: what do I actively avoid by constantly filling every silence with distracting noise? Often, it's the deep-seated fear of hearing what's truly real. Because in the sacred space of silence, you inevitably meet yourself, and that's where true transformation begins. Once upon a time, there was a warrior who earnestly sought enlightenment. He bravely asked the wise master, "What is truth?" The master simply said nothing. Minutes passed. The unnerving silence grew increasingly uncomfortable. The restless warrior repeated the identical question louder. Still, the unflinching master remained silent. Just as the warrior turned to leave in frustrated defeat, the master finally said, "Now you're ready to listen." Stillness was the true answer all along. This isn't about retreating to a remote cave for years, it's about consciously creating intentional pauses, taking 5 conscious breaths before you habitually respond, going for a silent walk without your tempting phone, intentionally having a peaceful morning without rushing to compulsively check notifications. These small stillness practices don't make you less productive, they make you far more deeply aligned. From that sustainable alignment, your energy naturally becomes more focused, your decisions become exponentially clearer, your quiet presence becomes naturally magnetic. Stillness isn't simply the absence of disruptive sound, it's the powerful presence of complete awareness. It's when you stop relentlessly chasing, stop exhaustingly performing, and finally start listening deeply. And what you hear may not be a coherent voice, but a quiet knowing, the kind of deep inner certainty that no amount of external validation can ever provide. That's when you start to trust the flow. When you finally stop pushing for ready-made answers and instead allow them to arrive organically, your true power doesn't lie in how loud you can be, but in how centered you can remain when the world all around you is incredibly loud. This is what wise Buddhists know, that the calmest presence often holds the most unshakable strength. Calm isn't simply passivity, it's profound mastery. So today, don't just fleetingly seek quiet moments, consciously honor them. Step confidently into silence, not with impatience, but with unwavering curiosity. Let stillness finally speak louder than all your deepest fears. Let it show you what you've been far too busy to see. In that sacred silence, you'll inevitably find wisdom. In that expansive stillness, you'll finally remember your inherent truth. Let stillness be your thunder. Move with unwavering calm. Speak with potent presence. Act from a deeply centered place. And in that sacred space between noise and awareness, the universe effortlessly delivers what you were always truly meant to receive. Please like and subscribe if this content helps. 7th, heal the inner mirror to reflect a brighter world. When you look into a mirror that is covered in dust, what do you see? A distorted reflection, shadows where there should be radiant light. That's exactly what happens when you carry unhealed wounds within. Your world inevitably begins to reflect your pain instead of your full potential. The universe isn't somehow separate from you, it actively responds to the specific vibration of your inner world. As the Zen proverb profoundly states, you cannot travel the path until you have become the path itself. That's the transformational wisdom Buddhism offers us, not to desperately chase peace externally, but to consciously become the very peace we seek. So many of us try desperately to control the external world, our relationships, our careers, even the perfect timing, without ever addressing the deeply limiting beliefs we hold inside. We confidently say we want true abundance, but secretly believe we're not truly worthy of it. We long for lasting calm, but compulsively feed our restless minds with constant chaos. We demand love, but rarely give it unconditionally to ourselves. The essential truth is, you cannot truly receive what you don't fundamentally believe you truly deserve. That's why healing your inner mirror isn't a frivolous luxury, it's the indispensable starting point of profound transformation. Once upon a time, there was a woman who spent years trying desperately to fix everything around her, her unfulfilling job, her unreliable partner, her precarious finances. But nothing ever seemed to stick. One day, completely exhausted, she sat in meditation and finally asked, "Why isn't anything ever working?" A quiet, unwavering voice inside whispered back, "Because you still think you're inherently broken." That moment dramatically cracked her open. She realized it wasn't the external world that needed changing, it was her deeply fractured relationship with herself. Healing didn't begin with frantic effort, it began with radical acceptance. Pause right now and ask yourself honestly, what do I truly believe I inherently deserve? And is that underlying belief ultimately helping or hurting me? If your daily inner dialogue is deeply rooted in lack, paralyzing guilt, or debilitating fear, no amount of external achievement will ever be enough. You'll always be desperately chasing, never contentedly arriving. But when you begin confidently affirming, I am already enough. I am worthy of love. I inherently trust life's inherent flow, you shift the very frequency of your life. You inevitably become magnetic. Because now the universe sees in you what you finally see in yourself, wholeness. Healing the inner mirror isn't about the unattainable goal of perfection, it's about unwavering presence, about compassionately watching your fluctuating thoughts, gently catching the unrelenting inner critic when it speaks too harshly, and mindfully replacing it with kindness. It's journaling, meditating, and intentionally sitting quietly with yourself, not to relentlessly fix, but to actively listen. It's waking up each morning and consciously choosing unconditional self-kindness before the external world even has a chance to shake your spirit. Don't wait for the external world to validate your essential worth, boldly decide it now. Because when your inner mirror is clear, you inevitably begin to see the limitless opportunities, the unwavering love, and the inherent peace that were always there, but effectively blocked by self-limiting beliefs. That's when effortless synchronicities begin to effortlessly appear. That's when people start responding to you differently. That's when you stop chasing and start easily receiving. And the true beauty is, you don't have to wait until you're fully healed to truly begin. You just have to bravely begin. Begin treating yourself like someone who is truly worthy of all you deeply desire. Begin showing up with calm trust and a deep knowing that you are divinely supported. Begin intentionally seeing the world, not as it currently is, but as a clear reflection of who you are bravely becoming. Remember, you become what you truly believe. Heal the inner mirror, and the external world will inevitably reflect your radiant light back to you, not in some distant future, but here and now. Like and subscribe. 8th, think lightly like a feather rests on water. Sometimes the inherent heaviness we carry isn't genuinely real, it's purely imagined, those relentlessly swirling thoughts, those doomsday scenarios that have yet to happen, those outcomes we desperately try to predict or control. We get hopelessly caught in the swirling storm of what ifs and what nexts, and we completely forget to ask the only question that truly matters: what is genuinely real, right now? Buddhism teaches us that a light mind is a free mind, drop by drop is the water pot filled. Just as a delicate feather rests lightly on the surface of the still water without sinking, your thoughts too must eventually learn to rest, not drown. Lightness isn't mere carelessness, it's powerful clarity. You weren't truly meant to carry the unrelenting weight of everything all at once, but habitual overthinking constantly convinces you otherwise. It deceptively tricks you into believing that if you just analyze enough, worry enough, and minutely plan enough, you'll somehow be permanently safe. But has that ever really worked? The more you desperately try to think your way into genuine peace, the more hopelessly tangled you inevitably become. Because peace isn't found in exhausting mental gymnastics, it's found in unwavering surrender. Once upon a time, there was a man who spent every single night worrying incessantly about a rickety bridge he would have to eventually cross. What if it's broken? He constantly wondered. What if I just can't make it across? Night after night, his debilitating anxiety grew. But when the day finally came, he simply arrived and immediately saw that the bridge was strong and completely whole. All those restless nights had prepared him for a non-existent problem. This is the crippling burden of constantly imagining non-existent obstacles. How much of your current suffering is actually based on a baseless fear that may never actually come true? Stop for a moment and ask yourself, am I imagining non-existent problems that don't even exist yet? If the honest answer is yes, it's finally time to let your burdensome thoughts float instead of relentlessly sink. Simplify. Your incredibly powerful mind isn't your unrelenting enemy, but it does need a trustworthy guide. The delicate feather doesn't actively resist the water, and yet it effortlessly stays afloat. That's the quiet wisdom of unwavering trust. That's the powerful softness of conscious letting go. In your daily life, this simply means making thoughtful decisions from genuine calm, not unrelenting chaos. Before you immediately act, pause thoughtfully. Before you reactively speak, consciously breathe. Let genuine intuition, not knee-jerk impulse, be your guiding compass. When your thoughts are inherently light, your energy inevitably becomes magnetic. People feel it. The abundant universe inevitably responds to it. You begin to attract, not from desperate need, but from effortless grace. This lightness is also a highly underrated form of powerful discipline. It's the conscious choice to stop feeding the destructive loop of inherent fear and instead nourish the inherent beauty of the present moment. Whether you're stuck in frustrating traffic, impatiently waiting for a critical phone call, or bravely navigating deep uncertainty, can you consciously float instead of habitually sinking? Can you choose genuine presence over relentless panic? Lightness doesn't mean you somehow don't care. It means you profoundly care enough to stay both sane and centered and open to the amazing possibilities of the universe. You are not divinely here to desperately force outcomes. You are divinely here to truly align, to effortlessly flow, to courageously release the unnecessary mental clutter that inevitably clouds your inherent inner wisdom. So today, let this be your empowering practice. Think lightly. Choose one nagging thought to consciously let go of, one baseless worry to purposefully release, one powerful moment to bravely trust. Because when your restless mind finally stops desperately wrestling with an uncertain future, your expansive heart begins to effortlessly receive everything it has always inherently deserved: enduring peace. Float like the delicate feather. Trust like the unwavering river. Let calm carry you to everything you so desperately seek. Help by liking and subscribing. 9th, wait for the bloom like a lotus in mud. In murky waters where light struggles to reach and nothing external seems to move, the magnificent lotus begins its incredibly quiet journey. It doesn't compulsively rush to bloom, it doesn't bitterly curse the darkness, it simply grows one patient inch at a time. Your life is truly no different. Right now, you may deeply feel stuck, patiently waiting for something to finally shift. Maybe it's genuine clarity about your true path. Maybe it's deep healing from past wounds. Maybe it's just a momentary moment of profound stillness after years of unrelenting chaos. But what if this very moment, this murky season, isn't actually a punishment, but essential preparation? Buddhism constantly reminds us that transformational growth inherently happens beneath the surface. What outwardly looks like delay is often sacred development. You cannot currently see the life-sustaining roots stretching and strengthening. You cannot currently see the essential inner unfolding, but it's relentlessly happening. No matter how incredibly hard the past, you can always purposefully begin again. The amazing lotus teaches us this unwavering truth: authentic peace doesn't actually require perfect external conditions. It grows organically from unshakable patience, unwavering presence, and the brave willingness to bloom in your own perfect time. But here's the relentless struggle: we're thoroughly trained to compulsively rush. Society systematically rewards speed, tangible success, visible results. So, we inevitably panic when things inevitably take time. We deeply doubt our own path. We relentlessly question our own inherent worth. But relentless urgency is definitely not authentic alignment. It's simply anxiety cleverly dressed up as ambition. Every single time you compulsively try to dig up the seed to see if it's actually growing, you inevitably interrupt the very process that's actually trying to bless you. Pause consciously and ask yourself, can I genuinely be still and let the insightful answer come in its own perfect time? Can you genuinely let the fertile soil do its crucial work without compulsively forcing the exquisite bloom? This isn't some kind of vague passivity, it's true trust. There's a quiet strength found in those who intentionally wait with unwavering wisdom. When you finally stop demanding instant results, you effortlessly make space for genuine transformation, the profound kind that genuinely lasts, the lasting kind that authentically changes you from within. Authentic peace isn't found in having all the convenient answers, it's found in your unwavering ability to simply breathe, even when the convenient answers simply aren't clear. It's found in your unwavering ability to fearlessly stay with inherent discomfort, with prevalent uncertainty, with the sacred. So many burned-out souls are not weary from simply doing too much, they're weary from constantly fighting against what inherently is, from compulsively trying to accelerate seasons that are clearly meant to unfold slowly, from compulsively comparing their challenging muddy middle to someone else's radiant full bloom. But the amazing lotus doesn't compulsively compare itself, it simply rises when it's inevitably time. So should you. Each blessed day you consciously wait with grace, you are relentlessly building invisible strength. Each empowering moment you consciously choose conscious patience over paralyzing panic, you effortlessly align deeper with the abundant universe. Trust deeply that when the supportive soil is truly ready, the seed inherently knows when to effortlessly rise. And when you eventually rise, because you undoubtedly will, it won't be with the desperate energy of someone compulsively trying to prove their inherent worth, it will be with the unwavering calm knowing of someone who has inevitably become their inherent worth. Let this be your gentle reminder, delays are definitely not denials, they're divine invitations to consciously rest, to purposefully realign, to confidently return to your inherent self. The abundant universe isn't cruelly punishing you, it's skillfully preparing you, patiently preparing the ideal conditions, the perfect timing, the essential clarity, the radiant peace, the divinely perfect moment. So breathe deeply. Stay intentionally grounded in your nourishing muddy soil and patiently wait, not with frustration, but with unshakable faith. Because genuine peace, like the exquisite lotus, inevitably blooms for those who confidently trust the essential mud. Would you like and subscribe? 10th, let action flow from inner peace, not panic. Imagine a small candle burning steadily in a quiet, windless room. Its inherent flame is calm, unwavering, and radiantly bright, not because it actively fights against the wind, but because the surrounding environment is incredibly still. This inherent steadiness mirrors how your empowering actions should inherently arise, not from paralyzing panic, relentless stress, or inherent desperation, but from a deep, unwavering well of inherent inner peace. In today's relentlessly fast-paced world, it's inherently easy to falsely mistake relentless busyness for true productivity and unsettling chaos for genuine progress. Yet, Buddhism actively teaches us that our true, inherent power comes when our empowering doing inherently flows from our profound, authentic being. Think thoughtfully about the last time you inherently acted out of inherent panic, the rushed emails, the ill-considered decisions made under intense pressure, the scattered thoughts relentlessly pushing you forward. Did those frantic actions inherently bring you closer to what you inherently desired, or did they simply leave you feeling inherently more exhausted, inherently more disconnected? The wisdom here is abundantly clear. Inspired action is effortlessly born from conscious stillness. The magical moment you inherently settle into your inherent self, inherently quiet your relentless mind, and inherently find a conscious sense of inherent calm, your life-affirming choices effortlessly gain inherent clarity and inherent strength. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. When you consciously root yourself in the inherently powerful now, your actions aren't inherently reactionary, they are inherently intentional. This life-affirming principle is particularly important for those who currently feel burned out or inherently overwhelmed, for those consciously struggling with inherently difficult career shifts, painful identity crises, or inherent emotional turbulence. The inherent pressure to compulsively keep moving, compulsively keep hustling can be inherently overwhelming. But what if the true secret isn't to compulsively do more, but to do inherently better? What if the key to consciously breaking through your inherent challenges lies not in frenetic energy, but in inherent calm focus?